Hi again, it's Professor Lucien, and we're back. And this is the video that's supposed to show you what's going to be due for Update 5, final update before the final thing is submitted. So I've got on the screen here the base forecast, and what I want to call attention to is how do we determine what we're going to investigate further for our priorities. So the things we're going to be recommending, forecasting future loss, estimating a requested investment. So for the policy class code, we did the Pareto analysis. The top two were our primary, so that's what we're going to focus on. For accident location, top four, I think, is what we were looking at. So those top four. But when you look at the magnitude of the RPN, there's still looks like there's some interest in 03 and 06, and so I'm gonna look into those for you today. That's gonna be my example, but I've already completed my analysis for all the policy class codes, all of the accident location for the top four, and I've actually already transferred over my results for the policy class code. So I'm going to show you how I did it for the loss. I'm sorry, for the accident location. As I showed you last time, I did investigate just the COVID claims themselves. There's not much to estimate here because this is kind of an outlier. It's kind of a weird thing that happened, and I've got all the information here so I can report it. I did look at the 8824 plus the 8810. Nothing was really justified here. This is for slip, trip, and fall for that group. It was just kind of all over the place. I did it for pace and overexertion. Still, not anything I'm going to recommend. I investigated it. Here's my base. Also, I wanted you to notice that, look how clean this is. You see how I go from tab to tab, and it's just nice and clean. And I can, paused on me. Hold on. There we go. It's nice and clean. I can go, I want you to position your tabs, each one, have them well labeled, have them positioned, so I can just click on it and see what's going on. And so here why did I put the estimate of 50,000? What was I thinking there? I'm going to have to fix that. That's probably a copy and paste. That's right. I can't do the figure. So the 50,000 is probably, the 20. Okay, so it's the 2021 total paid. That's how I estimated that because I've only got the 2 years. So for the 2026, it's really what I defaulted to was the 2021 total paid because that tended to be the lowest annual average. So this we didn't get to do any real forecasting on. This was just sort of estimates, and I labeled that. So let's go to the 2029. The 2029, as you can see, it's a little bit adjusted because I want you to just kind of show how you got these estimates. And I got the R-square values. So you can see here, I estimated 25 for the total amount, 120. Again, this is for the base. I put a little title in here. What did I choose? The lower of the two estimates. So I put that in there. I also estimated the percent of outliers of the total. So this right here is actually the 29 amount divided by 34. And so I put that in there. So in P policy class code 8829, over 85% of the outliers are in this, and 53% of the overall total paid. So that's overall total paid. So it just shows, that this is interesting. So from here, we need to determine what we want to focus on for priorities. To do that, I need to scroll down to my new cause codes. And we had done the Pareto analysis before. So I brought it over here and then I resorted it because it's going to be different because I'm only looking at policy class code 8829. And overexertion, patient-related, is number 1. Number 2 is slip, trip, and fall. 3 is overexertion. 4 is struck by. Notice COVID is 0 because this only goes from 2015 to 2019. After that, we don't have anything for policy class code 229. So this is going to be a 5-year average and then a trend analysis, a forecast, if you will, out to 2023 because that's what we're estimating too. So those are going to be my 4. So for the first one, I got slip, trip, and fall. Oh, sorry, that's 8826. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go to here. 8829. So patient overexertion was my number 1. So I calculated for the figure, it'd be about 8. That could actually be 7. Whatever. It was 7. It looks a little bit lower than 8 to me. Let's see. So the estimated total paid is 90,000. I put 89 just to be generous. or to be conservative. The average is about 6,000. That's what I put in there. Chose the lower of the two at 58, so that's going to be my requested investment. 41% of the outliers were 8829 patient overexertion. Overall, they accounted for about 25% of the total amount of paid. There's still 3 open outliers. There's just one left, one more open, and then I've got my averages and everything. So this is what I copy. So I highlight this whole thing. Remember, as you can see here, I put a title in here, and I put a justification here. I did check all my work. Are we only looking at 8829? Yeah, and we're only looking at patient overexertion. So verify. That's one thing you need to do this week is verify that patient overexertion 8829. That's what's there. I go down to my outliers and make sure 8829 patient overexertion. So I verified. I can verify the totals: 126, 126, 126, 126. Everything's verified. Yeah, that's what I wanted to figure out. Let's see. The next thing is how to bring it over to the results. And so this is something I've already done. So I highlight this area here. I copy it. It's got that thing. And then I go to my results tab, which is way over here. And I paste it right here. So I'm going to be filling this one out here in a little bit. But to paste it, what you want to do is right click, go to paste special, and go to linked picture. So now it will update if I have to go back and change anything, but it's much easier to manipulate and move around. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. Paste special linked picture. All right, let's go back to where I was there. Patient overexertion. I need to realign this. So it starts with column H, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Is that the way I've been doing it? No, I only have 2 spaces. So then I save it. And then what I can do is go from tab to tab. And you see how clean that is? And I've got the justification. I've got other information. That's only one, so I didn't put the percent. They get to, and now I'm at my accident location 307 base. So I've got all the information here. One little difference is that I did 6-year average. So I went from 15 to 20. I was able to do that because for 8829, we only had 5 years. So for the accident location, I want you to include 2015 through 2020. And I've got all my estimates in here first. So, and if I go down to this is the base for L307. This is an accident location. If I go down to my new cause codes, that's the reason why that column was so much bigger, so I can read it. Resort by RPN, it is already. Just double checking that. Number 1 is patient overexertion. So I'm going to look at that first. Next is COVID-19. Everything I did is to just for my own information, what percent of the claims in L307 are COVID claims? Well, about 27% of them, and they represent about 21% of the amount paid in this particular accident location. I just thought that was interesting, so I put that in there. So we're looking at patient overexertion. It's our number 1. Just overexertion looks like it has some value to it. I'm looking at the policy class codes. Slip, trip, and fall. No, I don't think there's enough here. There's about $24,000 in claims, about 9 claims. So that's all we're going to look at is those 2. So 304 slip, trip, fall. Here's my estimations. I was able to, the lower of the 2 estimates is about 7,500. There are 2 outliers. I guess I could figure out, equal this amount divided by 34 would tell me how many of the outliers are here. Small amount. Not a lot going on. If I go to the patient overexertion, wait a minute, I think I jumped ahead. Sorry, geez, it's so hard to watch some of these things. So this is patient overexertion for 307. This is overexertion for 307. You can see only 1,000. So it's like, as the numbers get lower for the RPN for each accident location, you're not going to get a lot. So back to 304, I did 2 of them under here as well. What are they? COVID was number 1. It's 28% and about 27%. So we've got slip, trip, and fall. Look at the policy, or the RPN rather. See, these two are pretty close, and maybe struck by against might be interesting too. But I'm going to for sure do these two and see what comes out. So I'm in 304 right now, so I did slip, trip, and fall. Not great numbers, Lower of the two, 7,500, can justify 6,000. Second was patient overexertion. I had to use the 2020 total paid for it. Just there's not great information. So should I go and do the last one? I don't know. I mean, I could. What was it? Struck by? Because that's that. It doesn't seem like I'm not getting much from this. So why should I keep going? For my 302 base, go down. You got to make sure 302. Yep. For my 302 base, and you should be checking all your numbers. COVID was number 1 by far. You can see here the big difference. But after that, slip, trip, and fall is the only one that's even justified. You can look at the numbers here. So I did slip, trip, and fall. What did I find? I was able to justify around 5,500, which is about the average. It didn't change much. See, there's a little dip there. There's a dip up here in 2017. Again, this is the 6-year average. For my 305 base, I just did this one before I started. So for the new cause, it is sorted. Patient overexertion was number 1. COVID was number 2. You can see what the percentages are. Then what I did is a slip, trip, and fall. Does that have value? Did I do slip, trip, and fall? I did. So this was a question. Should I do this one or not? Let's take a look at it. So L305 patient overexertion. I was able to get 12,000. Didn't change much cost-wise. The number of claims is disappearing though. There was 3, but I think there was 3 in 2020, but they're going down. For slip, trip, and fall, did I get anything here? The figure gave me about 2,500, but there were 0 in 2020. So it doesn't give me much. So do we keep going? No, let's just leave that alone. So now let's do the 303 base and the 306 base. So all I did was copy over the overall, the all base, the foundational base. What did I call it? I can't remember. So making it big so you can see it. So what I do is I turn the header row into a filter. And I'm going to filter by accident location, because this is going to be my 303 base. So I'm going to delete everything that is not 303. So 302 until I guess I should have done this before I started the thing, but I wanted to show you. This is how we do it. And I spent a lot of time before I started this cleaning things up. Because I was kind of sloppy before, lining everything up, cleaning it up, double checking my work, making sure that I'm only including the claim information that I need, whether it's accident location, policy class code, and then reducing it to the new cause code that I'm focusing on. I'm double checking all that, because then when I bring over my final tables to the results, I can enter it in and it doesn't take any time at all. Oops. I can just delete it. It's okay. Boom. All right. So I just have the L303 now. I can check my numbers. The total is 102, 102, 102, 102, 102. I'll double check that in a little bit. I have to now sort down below. So I got to turn this one into a filter by accident location. Again, I'm just doing 303. So I got to delete everything that is not 303. This is what I've been doing all along here. So I know that this is for week 5, but I know some people are going to be behind. I was looking at some of the information for the class, and it does look like usually we have about 8 students who turn things in late, but I do have about 7 students who are actually averaging an A for this work so far. I've got another 4 students averaging about an A-. Unfortunately, I have about 4 students that are under the 60th percent, so they're in the F range, and I have 3 students in the D range. So either students are doing very well and keeping up, or you're not. So what did we learn here? So let's see here. All right, so is that really the COVID claims though? I gotta double check. No, that's patient overexertion. So I need to change the numerator to this. And actually I have to resort first. So do resort first. Because what I did is I removed claims. So now this is going to change up. So each time you do that, you have to highlight the data, go to sort. We have to unclick this so that it's just covering the data. I'm going to sort it by column Z, highest to lowest, or largest to smallest, whatever. Did it change much? It just changed a few down here. Is my COVID correct? Yep, my COVID is correct. 37% of my claims in L303 are COVID. They account for about 29% of the total paid. So what do we have here? It looks like we could probably investigate both overexertion, patient-related, and slip, trip, and fall. There's a consistent theme here. I don't know if you noticed that. All right, let's go up here and just do my base. Let's see, are all these correct? It says 5-year average. No, we want to have a 6-year average. So I'm going to extend that down to there. Turn that into a 6-year average. I've got 2023 and 20. Check those, make sure those are correct. Let's see, is this, nope. Make this all 6-year averages. It should automatically update in the table, and it does. 5 of 34 is about 14.71%. Block that in. Everything else looks good. So let's do the figures. So I'm doing 15 to 20. This is a 6-year average. Insert scatter plot. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to highlight it because I want to add a trend line. Because, you know, before when it was just 5 years, we were adding 4 years, but now we're doing 6 years, so we just add 3. Oh, to 2023. That's what we're forecasting to. And what do we have here? Forecast, it's about 30. Oh, 30. All right, let's do the total paid. Total paid, highlighted all the way to 2020. Insert scatter plot. I have to add the X values. So I go select data, edit, X values, 15 through 20. That's 2015 through 2020. Let's add the trend line, and then I'll put it in its spot. We're going ahead 3 years. And give me the R square. It's going way up because in 2020 we had a spike. I bet you a lot of that spike is COVID related though. So what are we at? We're between 60 and 670, so 65. I'm recording. All right, we're at 65,000. And now let's do the average. Average down to 2020. Insert scatter plot. All right, I have to add the X values here. So select data, edit X 15 through 20, and that's 2015 through 2020. Okay, now I need to do the trend line out to 2023. So I'm going to tack on 3 years. R square. All right, so what is the estimate for 2023? It is right in between 2,000 and 2,500. I'll just put a good old 22,500. So the lower of the two is going to be the estimate, but I'm going to round up because I've got things going on here. So I'm going to put in 19,000. I'm going to put lower of 2 estimates. I'm going to make that italic. Right, and this is also, I need to put in here that this is accident location L303 all claims. Got to clean this up, justify it over, give it bold. Consistency is good. Now you see how this row and this row are so big? I'm going to shrink those down or make them similar to the rest. Yep. Click over one. Got 2 up there. So this is pretty much centered and this looks good. This is approximately what I want to start out with. Now what I want to do is I want to copy this over and focus on my priorities for new cause code. And I also changed the title. Some of you haven't been changing your titles or putting your name in it. Please do that. That's important. Some of you have. The ones who are doing well tend to. So overexertion patient related. So I'm going to copy this over to a new tab. This is going to be L303 patient overexertion. Been doing it all along here. So we're just working with L303. I need to zoom in for you. And hopefully you're going to use each page at the same percentage, cleaning up your stuff. I'm going to turn the header row into a filter. I'm going to filter new cause, and I'm going to delete everything that is not patient overexertion. Lots of COVID. There we go. Patient overexertion. I'm going to go down to the bottom here and clean this up too. I don't have to sort it because there's only 5 of them there, and it's easy just to delete those. So I've got 3 left. All right, let's check our work now. 24, 24, 24, 24. Okay, and there we go. All right, so we have to do some updating now. We're still 6-year average. I'm gonna double click on this to show. Still the 6-year average, 15 through 20. So the table has been updated, but I need to update my figures because these figures are based on data from the L303 base. So what I do is I click on one of the data points, open up select data. And as you can see, what it does, it went back to the base. So I'm gonna go edit, and I'm going to change my X values first because what I want you to see is it's still taking it from my base one. So I click on the tab that says 303 patient overexertion. See, it looks different. I'm going to highlight 15 through 20, even though it's the same numbers. I'm going to do the same for my Y. Click on the patient overexertion and the count numbers, and then hit OK. Do you see it changed? It changed as soon as I did that. So here are my new numbers. So my new figure number is about, I'm going to say 2. Going down. All right. Cool. Let's do the same thing with total paid. Select data, edit. First do my X values, even though they're the same. Click on the tab I'm on, and see I have to actually move it. Okay, 15 through 20. Now I'm going to do the Y values. Make sure I'm on my tab. See, I got to move over and go 15 through 20. Hit the window, hit OK. Hit OK. Now sometimes it changes right away. See, it's all messed up. Now if I start clicking on things, sometimes it'll fix. I just noticed that. I'm going to go ahead and update this one, and hopefully by then it'll fix itself. Right now it's processing it. I don't know why my door keeps rattling. I think my kids are going in and out of the house. X values, click on here. So I'm on my patients tab. I gotta assign that amount. My Y values, click on my tab. I'm doing average per claim, 15 through 20. Hit OK. And now my dog's at the door of my office. Did this stuff fix? I think it did. Okay. So now what are we at here? Between that's about 7. I'm going to say 6,500 for this. 100, and for the average, did it all update? The average in 2023 is about 27.5. 27.5. The lower of the two is this amount here. We have some outliers as well. So what I think I'm going to go is 5,500. Because it's pretty close. So it is the lower of the two averages because it looks like it's kind of going up there. And you can also, the justification. We've got outliers that aren't included, that a lot. So this is really low. And we can also look at the totals here. How often is it below or above that 5,500? And maybe 5,000. Maybe I'm going to go 5,000. Seems conservative to me to go 5,000. I think that would work. Yes. So that's it. So now I'm just going to position it so that it's in the right position. I've got the 2023 forecasted. It's the 6-year average. I had checked all my work. I think I go down one more and hit save. Again, I've got my updated title. If I look back at the base, let's get you centered again. Is that where I was? Yeah. So to go from the L303 base to the L303 patient over exertion, I got to change this. Patient over exertion. Those are my estimates. And I think I was going to choose one more. I'm going to have to look at the base again. We're going to do overexertion, patient related, and slip, trip, and fall. So let's do that. Copy this. Copy. Paste. So we're only working with 303. Now I want to do just, I believe, slip, trip, and fall. Is that right? Go back down off my 303 base. Slip, trip, and fall. I'm not expecting to find anything, but I want to show you L303, slip, trip, fall. So I need to sort or turn my header row into a filter the new cause, because all I'm working with is L303. I'm going to delete everything that is not slip, trip, and fall. Oh, that went really quick. Delete. Let's see. Very small data set. But I'm going to show you based on, so this is going to be just slip, trip, and fall. Slip, comma, trip, and fall. And then I'll have to update some of the numbers. I have to go down below. There are no slip, trip, and falls in the outliers, so I'll delete those. Let's check the numbers. We got 14, 14, 14. I'm supposed to be a little bit closer. There we go. And 14, 14. I don't like that. Clean that up. There we go. Are we still 6-year average? We are. All right, let's update our figures. So we go select data. It's going to try to get us to go to the base, but we want to go to slip, trip, fall. I'm going to put in my X values first, 15 through 20. Put in my Y values second. Click on the correct tab and through there. Hit OK. Hit OK. I'm going to do it with my total paid now. Select data. Edit. X values. Make sure I'm on the tab I want to be on. And putting the years in here. And now the Y values. Gotta go to my tab. And there we go. Okay. All right, let's see. What do we have for some numbers now? Okay, it hasn't updated fully yet. This is messed up. This should be count. Okay, I think it just updated. So, what's the number? It's close to 4. What's the number? It's about 5,000. So it's going up. So we had a couple 0 years and it's going up. It's trending upward. That's a decent number there. The average per claim, I have to update that one now too. Select data, edit, X values. Click on the cell that I'm on. It's always good to double check that because again, it wants to do the original. So here are the years on my tab. I'm going to go to Y now. I got to click on my tab again. And, oh, we got some zeros here. Wonder how that's going to end up looking. Hit OK. Hit OK. Did it mess it up or did it count them as 0? It did count them as 0. The average is about 22.5. Ah, didn't change. All right. Or maybe I didn't put it in wrong. Maybe I put it in wrong. We'll see. So which one are we going to take of these? I mean, again, we had 2 years that were 0. We had one that was 1,000. We've never really been above 5,000, so I'm not comfortable with doing that. So I'm going to go with the lower of the two, 1,500. Almost nothing. So was it even worth it? Probably not. And that's why we can compare and see how now it does look like it's trending up. So there may be a little bit of interest, but it's very few claims here. So I'm going to show you now, with the time that's left, how to bring over the data and start entering it. And I'm going to save my work. I still need to do the 30, oh no, that goes there. I got to do the 303, I'm sorry. I need to do the 306 base. Haven't done it yet. Just going to take a quick look at it because this one was very questionable whether we should or not. So the first thing I need to do, turn this into a filter. We're going to filter the accident location. We're going to delete everything that is not 306. I'm going to see, I just want to see if there's any priorities here or if it's all COVID. Because this is, because originally, off the original, breakdown of the overall master, not the overall master, the base, the overall base. It was really questionable whether to look at this. This was beyond the Pareto. So let's see what happens when we look beyond the Pareto. I'm such a nerd. All right, let's see here. 307. So under my original principles, we wouldn't be investigating this. I want to see if anything comes out of it. There's been a pretty consistent focus on certain causes. All right, we gotta turn this one into a filter. Everything but 306 leaves. Oh, looks like we got a couple. Couple 3. They're all slip, trip, and fall. So maybe slip, trip, and fall will come out as being something we want to look at. So first, we got to resort our new cause. Highlight all the data. We go to sort. We got to get rid of that. I don't know why Excel does that. It's so annoying. Because then we got to pick the column Z, which is the RPN. We're going to go largest to smallest. Moved around a little bit. I mean, it kind of looks like slip, trip, and fall. And kind of looks like slip, trip, and fall. It has some value to it. I think it does. Maybe overexertion patient related. Should we see? I know this is getting long, but just when we copy things over, it's pretty easy. So this is going to be 306 slip, trip, and fall. L. Oh, Jesus, that shouldn't have happened. Let's try that again. L. 306 slip, trip, fall. Blow it up a little. We'll highlight the header row. I mean, also, I'd like you to see that this it's like kind of like a technique. We keep doing the same thing. I sorted by new cause code. I'm going to delete everything that is not slip, trip, and fall. Because I copy and paste this from the base we just built. It's only 306 that's here. And we checked our work, too. Oh, we didn't trend the 306, though. Not a big deal. Okay, slip, trip, and fall, the ones that are there. How many do we have? We've got 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. And, oh, it says here 5 years. So let's see. It is only 5 year. So if I just click and drag that one, it gives me 6 year. I'll have to change that. Go to there, that updated. This is 6 year now. That says 2023, which is nice. And is this all correct? Yeah, it's doing the 6 year average. And we only have slip, trip, and fall. This is accident location L306 slip, trip, and fall. That's what we're focusing on. So with the base, I would have done it anyway. I mean, it would have been there. I'm doing twice the work by not just doing it. 3 divided by 34. All right, it's not a lot. There's one open still. So let's go ahead and trend this year and count. Put in a scatter plot. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Trend line. Because we did 6-year average, we just go out by 3 and give it an R square value. All right, what's that number? The number is, 3.5. I'm just going to put in 3. See, the numbers are low. Move that up to there. Now I'm going to do the total paid. So total paid out to 20. Insert scatter plot. I need to get it off of the data. Click on here, select data, edit. I just got to put in the X values, 15 through 20. It's 2015 through 2020. Hit OK, hit OK. Add a trend line. Looks like it's going up. Interesting. Didn't expect that. 3 and R square. Okay, that number is 12,000. The estimate for 2023 is 12,000. Has it ever been above 12,000? Not even close. Oh, no, in 2021, it hit 12,000. And it goes 3, 4, 3, 1, 4, 4, 2. Interesting. All right, now I got to do the average. For a second there, my brain. All right, so average to 2020. Insert scatter plot. Get it out of the way. Click on a dot. Select data. Edit. X values 15 through 20. It's 2015 through 2020. Hit OK. Some weird jump in 2018. Add a trend line. Forecast ahead 3 years. Get an R square value. And what's the amount? About 4,500. Get out of my way. All right, so how does he determine now what to estimate? Looking at the 2, I'm more comfortable with putting in, okay, we've got 3, it's that amount, this is trending up. I'm gonna put in 5,500. I think it's justified. And what did we base this on? Lower of the 2. Lower of 2 estimates. Italicize. Box it. All right. We are there. Okay. So if I go back to the 306 base, I could also do patient overexertion to investigate it, and I may. But also I want to show you how to copy that stuff over because we're getting really long here. And when I do this stuff, excellent location, L306 base, 06, all claims. Got a little cleaning to do. All right, but let's show you how to do it. Save. All right. So the data table, the final results, what I've got here is priority, policy class code, cause code, or I could put new cause category, whatever. Estimated 2023 number of claims. I try to give ranges if I can, but again, we had some screwy things going on with our policy class code. The estimated average for 2023, which is basically the overall average, annual average. This is the stated median paid per claim for that set. The estimated, what we put in, what we entered for the estimated loss. So it's usually, whatever was justified. The requested investment total, the return on investment, it's all 25%. I mean, if we knew what these things were, it would calculate itself. But we're back calculating, like I showed you in class. The number of outliers removed. So in these priorities, these 6 priorities, there are 28, which is, 28 out of 34. It's a big percent of the overall. So that even though they are outliers and they were removed, they still were covered in the overall analysis, which is what I want you to understand. And then we got the outlier amount and the average per. And so these are what I copied from each one of my tabs that I calculated, and then I manually entered the data in. And so that's what I'm going to show you. So I've got the priority accident location, cause code, and all this other stuff. Okay? So first what I'm going to do is go to my first one, which is, we did 307, so I'm going to go to patient 307. I'm going to highlight this information here. Control C to copy. I'm going to go to my final results. And right here, I'm going to right click, go up to paste special arrow, and go to what is called linked picture. Click. Because then if I ever have to go back and change anything, because I find that there's an error, it'll automatically update. So I shrink this down here, and I'm going to do that now for other things. I did 307 over exertion. See, that's why I have the title on there too. So it just makes everything easier. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I did just a paste. Now it's all screwed up. So I'm going to right click, paste special, linked picture. Because when I do that, I can actually just shrink it down like this. It just goes quicker. See? Cool, right? So those are my two 307 priorities. I'll go to my 304 priority. Copy. Paste. Oh, I did it again. I hit Z to go back one. Right click. Paste special. Linked picture. Shrink it up. Move it over. Here we go. And I mean, for the screen itself, as long as I can read it, I could shrink it down a little bit more because then I can fit more on my screen. So when I do my manual entering, it's like I don't have to mess around too much. Better. Okay, so what else I have for 304? I also have patient over exertion for 304. Highlight my data, copy, go to the final results, click on a cell, right click, paste special, linked picture. Move it close, shrink it. What else do I have? 302 slip, trip, fall. Results, right click, paste special, linked picture, right next to it, shrink it. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. It looks like I've got 2, 3, 4, a few more. So my actual final amount may be a little bit more than what I show on here. Okay. Let me get, what did I get to again? I got to 302. I had 1 under 302. Got 2 under 305. I'll be bringing those over. So I've got 5 here. I'll have 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10. I'll have at least 10 total. That's nice. All I have to do is just insert a row. Oh, wait a minute. Something must be highlighted here. You just got to get rid of that. And then you go here and go insert. And insert. I can insert as many as I need. So let's enter this. So I'm just going to put 1 here for the moment. Accident location L307. And I mean, I can just go right down the line here. So I've got how many? 2 307s? Is it going to change it to 308? It did. Stupid. 307. I've got the 2 304s. L304. Shift L304. And then my last one's a 302. L302. What are the causes? For the first one, it's patient over exertion. Second one is just over exertion. Next one is slip, trip, and fall. The next one is patient over exertion. Next one is slip, trip, fall. So you see, when we do these priorities and we start entering this stuff in and it's, you know, all set up like that, you can kind of isolate and show more, because we focus on these things, but then looking at it overall, you can start looking at it combined. I think that's cool. So for the number of claims for this, it's 6 or 7. 6 to 7. That's how I report that, because we can do that. Is that what I did up here? Yep. So for the next one, it's 67. This is 0 to 2. The next one, so I'm taking it from here. From here, it's 2. They're both the same. Next one is 0 to 4. The next one is 1 to 2. The average, if I scroll down a little bit down here, I like to take these numbers because I'm going to use it for median too. So the average is, as listed, it's 31.86. And the next one is 28.76. Oops, let me go down. The next one is 48.49. And I like to do it this way because then I'm focusing on the same, cell from the data tables, and I can just boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's that. The median is 1754. The next one is 1344. The next one is 3317. It's just a manual enter. I'm touching my screen with my finger, so I know what I'm typing in. Oh, didn't mean to do that. 1757. All right. The estimated total paid is right here. So it's going to be this line all the way across. First one is 21,000. Second one is 1,000. Next one is 7,500. The next one is 2,000. And the final one is 5,500. The requested investment. The first one is 16,800. Then 800. Not great. Then 6,000. Then 1,600. Then 4,400. The return on investment is 25,000. 25,000. I'm sorry, 25%. Because that's what we set it at. Okay. Number of outliers removed. So for this first one, it's 3. Second one, nothing. Then it's 2. Then it's nothing. And then it's 2. The amounts. The first one is 115,177. Second one, there's nothing. Third one is 90,017. Fourth one, there's nothing. Fifth one, there's 26,460. So we have a much different look here on these first 5 than we had up above. Here, we're only requesting about 29,600. Here, we're at 91,000. With just 6 priorities. I'm at 5 priorities. I'm going to add 5 more. And so we got to figure out what that means. But for this week, I just need you to complete everything and clean everything up. I'm going to stop the video here, and we will talk about this in the next video.